Welcome to Dateline Schools, a presentation of the St. Clair County Regional Educational Service Agency, with your host, Chris Troy.
Well, school is back in session, and there's one organization that is helping to keep the area's history lessons alive outside of the classroom, and that's the Port Huron Historic Museum. To tell us all about it this week is my special guest from the museum, Andrew Kircher. Well, Andrew, thanks a lot for being with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, there's a lot of neat stuff going on here in the Port Huron Museum. And really, I should say museums, because how many facilities do you guys have now?
Yeah, so we operate 4 different sites, and 3 of those sites are kind of seasonal. In fact, we're now in our shoulder season. But we operate the Carnegie Center, which is our main museum open year-round. We also operate the Huron Lightship, the Thomas Edison Depot, and the Fort Gratiot Light Station in conjunction with St. Clair County Parks.
And the thing is for an educational point of view, there's so much history that can be learned in these facilities. And if you have a family, and sometimes, I want to take my family to these events, but I don't know if I can afford if I've got 3 or 4 kids. You guys have kind of taken care of that, haven't you?
Yeah, so we actually have free admission at 3 of our 4 sites, the 3 that we work with the city. So that's sponsored by a grant from the City of Port Huron, as well as the Visitor and Convention Bureau for the Blue Water area. So we have free admission. It's really great. It's been great to get lots of people in through the door. The last thing we want to do is put, a barrier in between people and getting to see, their own history, their own shared cultural heritage.
Now, how do you feel local history? I mean, it seems like there really is starting to get a real interest in local history. Do you find that?
I think so. I think people have been able to get in touch with it a lot easier with technology, with the internet, as some of the resources that become available to people to discover how many amazing stories we have in this area. I've worked all over the state, and I can tell you the Blue Water area history is some of the most diverse, some of the most interesting that you're going to find anywhere.
Now, Andrew, first thing, happy Halloween. Now, has your trolley been used as part of the holiday season?
Yeah, so one of our most popular tours in the trolley is our Murder and Mayhem tours. So we have a Murder Mayhem tour. There's More Murder, More Mayhem, it's not quite a sequel because you can actually go on either tour at either time, but I know very well the endurance level of the human butt, and it's not 3 hours on that trolley. So we've broken it up into a kind of a couple of different segments to look at some of the more macabre history. And our last tour is very fittingly on Halloween this year, so we're very excited. And we're going to be bringing them back, of course, next year. We might even have a third, even more Murder and Mayhem tour.
Let's go back a little bit and let's talk about that trolley. Where did you guys get that trolley?
So we were actually able to purchase that trolley from Blue Water Transportation. So the Blue Water Area Transit group, they operate our regular street buses, regular city buses. They have a trolley they run daily in the summer months, the warmer months. Well, they had an older trolley, and it was the last of their diesel fleet. So I think they were looking to kind of transition away from diesel. They're all natural gas and now electric as well. But they gave us that opportunity. We had worked with them. We had done tours using their trolley, their driver before. And they said, well, would you like your own? And when we got the chance to buy it, it's something that I'm a magnanimous fellow. I bought the trolley for the museum. Now, granted, it was $1, but the dollar did come out of my wallet. So,
well, good for you with that. And I've seen that. I've seen brides waving as it's passed by. I saw it down at the Marysville Hot Wheels weekend. It's not just a history thing, is it?
Yeah, while we do lots of tours, we also do rentals, both for tours and for anything you want. Lots of weddings, lots of family reunions. Sometimes there are events. I really enjoy kind of hybrid events. There's a family that rents it every November, and they have part of their Thanksgiving celebration on board, and they get like a little bit of a tour, and they BYOB, and it's a lot of fun.
So, Andrew, you have a great exhibit coming in here, From Hence We Came. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so this is one of the exhibits that we have. From Whence We Came is one of our permanent exhibits here at the museum. We have a couple of topics that we're always kind of dedicated to telling the story, even if the exhibits themselves change out a little bit. One example might be like our maritime collection. We're the maritime capital. We're always going to talk about shipping and boating and the lakes and the river. But From Whence We Came is our Black History exhibit. We're really excited. This is something we worked with Marguerite Stanley. The late Marguerite Stanley was one of the best historians for local history in this area. And she actually wrote a book in the 70s that we've republished called From Whence We Came. It deals with the history of the Black community here in Port Huron. And so that is an exhibit that we're really proud of here.
Now, I see you also have an exhibit about the homes in Port Huron. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so Built to Last is actually one of our temporary exhibits. So up on our mezzanine, we like to rotate every couple of months a new exhibit in there. And Built to Last is one of the really popular topics because everybody loves old houses, and Port Huron has such a great stock of them. So we examine where some of those are. We have artifacts from some of the homes that almost everyone has seen, driven past, gawked at, taken a look at. And so you can learn a lot about some of those historic homes and some historic homes more in general.
Well, from one who's restored a couple homes here in the Port Huron area, I know how important that is, especially to maybe some of the older neighborhoods, to remind people just how special those neighborhoods are.
Absolutely. I'm vice chair of the Historic District Commission, so I get to see anytime, when a change or something like that comes up, we get to see that and work with homeowners, building owners to keep that historic character because once it's gone, you can't get it back.
Andrew, how do you and your team come up with the ideas for exhibits?
Yeah, we sit around. We have weekly brainstorming sessions and ideas that come up. Sometimes ideas present themselves if we have the opportunity to get something, on loan or something really, really cool to base things around. But we really want to see, what areas of history have we not gotten to cover? What do we think people would find really interesting or popular? And what can we reasonably achieve with things that are either in the collection or that we are borrowing from someone else?
So, Andrew, I know each year you do a trolley ride around the holiday season, but this year you're including the lighthouse. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so one of the most popular tours we do every year is in December. We have candle-lit tours of the lighthouse. And this is something that's transition evolved a little bit. And so now the way that works, it actually is included with a trolley tour where we go out into the town. I can't even tell you the route right now because every year we base it on where we can find the best Christmas lights. And we do a Christmas light tour of Port Huron. You learn a little bit about the past. You learn some, kind of real Christmassy spirit. There's going to be, I think, some sing-alongs. Candy canes, I know, are amply flowing on that trip. And when you get back from touring the Christmas lights in town, you come see the lights at the Fort Gratiot Light Station.
Now, will people be allowed to climb the light station? Or is this just simply enjoy the lights that are hung on the outside?
Well, you can do either. I know some people aren't always a fan of climbing the 94 steps to the top, but you can climb up. That is part of it. So we decorate the tower, we decorate the inside of the duplex. You get a chance to climb that tower and see the lighthouse working at night. There's really nothing that compares to seeing, maybe in a light snowfall or seeing one of the freighters go by lit up at night. It's amazing. The lighthouse, we've had tens of thousands of visitors who come during the day. But the whole point of a lighthouse is it works at night. And so a lot of people don't get to see that after dark. And in December, as everybody knows, once the sun's going down at like 4 in the afternoon, we have a lot of nights. So that's a great time to come and check that out, explore the whole grounds, explore the tower. And then, of course, there's hot cocoa and cookies.
And that hot cocoa would certainly come in handy walking into that cold building, climbing up those stairs in the middle of December.
Yeah, well, a lot of people, if you climb all 94, you take it at a good clip, you won't feel too cool. That it really gets the blood flowing.
Andrew, so this all week we've been talking about events. What else is coming here at the museum?
Yeah, so in November, we're very excited. Every year we commemorate a pretty large storm, a large piece of our history that it's kind of outside of living memory because this was the storm of 1913. So 110 years ago, the largest storm in the recorded history of the Great Lakes slammed into Lower Lake Huron. Port Huron was right at the center of this major storm. And so we have a series of tours to kind of commemorate that story. You can learn about it. And they're the only tours that we kind of maybe secretly hope for some kind of bad weather. It really puts people in the mood because our storms go out, rain or shine, snow or cold, any kind of weather condition, as long as it's not like that storm of 1913. There's a massive, massive storm. We learn about how that impacted the lighthouse, how it made some physical changes there at the lighthouse that can still be seen today, some of the ships that went down, and some of the changes that were made to maritime safety because of this massive storm.
And maritime history is so big in this area. In fact, I just saw the other day they discovered another sunken ship out there in the Great Lakes. How popular is it for people to come and have questions about our maritime history?
Oh, it's very popular. I mean, Port Huron is, legally the maritime capital of the Great Lakes. Take that, Buffalo. We won that lawsuit. So, maritime history is so pivotal and so important to the area that we get lots of questions at all of our sites. Two of our sites are directly and unquestionably maritime related, between the Huron and the Fort Gratiot Light Station. But even the depot right there under the bridge, we get lots of questions. And we have an entire maritime floor here at the Carnegie. So we're all about that history, which is such a major component of why Port Huron is the way it is today.
Well, Andrew, you know that history is a huge thing for me personally, so I want to thank you and I want to thank your staff. I know it takes a number of people to keep an operation like this going, so congratulations on all the work that you guys are doing. For Dateline Schools, I'm Chris Troy. Dateline Schools is a presentation of St. Clair County RESA.